next chapter, that is chemical control and coordination. But let me tell you the position of these gland, because that is very important. So the lowermost part, that is a pituitary gland, this is called master gland, and a bit above it at the middle part of the brain, that is the hypothalamus gland. This is a temperature sensitive gland, temperature sensor of our body. It controls the body temperature. And again, there is a pineal gland, right? So these three glands are found in our brain. And this upper part, the pink color part, that is a forebrain. And this blue color part, middle part, this is the midbrain. And hindbrain contain this pons, medulla, and this cerebellum, right? So this we had discussed in last class. So let's start from the forebrain itself, right? So again, uh, this forebrain divided into further three part, right? And what are these three part basically? So these three part are um, olfactory lobe, cerebrum, diencephalon, and just a minute. Well, let me cross check with you. Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Uh, okay, fine, fine. So again, further look, olfactory look, that is meant for smell sensing, right? So this is responsible for smell sensing. This reason. Cerebrum is basically the main processor of brain. This is responsible for thinking, decision making, quick responses, and all that, right? Further, this cerebrum is divided into frontal, means this front part, right? We had already discussed in last class, and when I was teaching you skull part, right? So frontal means front part, parietal means rooftop, we know, occipital, side and hide part, right? Temporal, this temple part, right? Further, we have divided cerebrum, right? Then diencephalon. So olfactory lobe. So you have to write it down first. I will let you know. One more thing, that our forebrain, it is divided into this kind of a structure. They are called sulcus and gyrus, right? Sulcus are the downward depressions, and gyrus are upward, right? They are uplifted part. So this kind of the structure can be seen externally, can be seen, right? Further, olfactory lobe is meant for a smell. Cerebrum is considered the largest and most complex part. It is divided into four lobes, right? So further, cerebrum is divided into four lobes, right? uh, this is responsible for, first I will tell you, then you have to copy it as it is, right? You have not to copy anything else, you have to copy it as it is, right? Cerebrum is frontal brain is responsible for creative ideas, translation, right? Reality testing, that anything is like, suppose that you have the particular fruit, is it artificial fruit or real fruit? Then reality testing, judgment, decision making part, right? Intellectual ability, that is controlled by frontal brain. uh, Reasoning and decision making, means logic and decision making. Emotions are controlled by frontal brain, right? Willpower and personality, that is controlled by frontal brain. First start writing quick, then I will scroll. So your heading will be part of brain, then out of the part of the brain, forebrain. And message me when you copy it. Done? Ritika, Martin? Okay, fine. Right, okay, fine. So this was the frontal, means olfactory lobe, we know that is responsible for smell sensing. Cerebrum, frontal we have studied. Now parietal, temporal and occipital part that we'll study. So parietal part, it is responsible for touch, pain, heat and cold, means all kind of external senses, right? Then position and shape, right? Position and shape of object, right? So it take nerves from eye and it decide what is the position and shape of particular object. Information from environment, right? Humidity is there, dryness is there, air is flowing, what is the speed of wind and all that, right? uh, Communication to the rest of the brain, it also communicate to the rest of the brain, right? Then come to the temporal lobe, temporal part, this part, temporal part, right? Sound and language, right? Smell, again this is also responsible for smell sensing. And memory, right? It is the storage point, it's our hard drive as well. And emotions, right? Finally the occipital part, uh, visual information, shape and color is decided by occipital part. Please note down. Great. Then come to the diencephalon, the third part of the forebrain. It have three regions: epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus. You need not to understand all these reasons. Hypothalamus, we have studied, that is a gland. This is thermostat, right? It controls your body temperature at 37 degrees centigrade. So it control the 37 degrees centigrade body temperature, right? And keep it our body at homeostasis. And behavioral activities like appetite, right? If we are hungry, it will give us sense of appetite, right? Thirst, if there is a lackness of water or shortage of water in our body, it will give us indicator to have water, right? Satiety, satiety means the position or the feeling of being satisfied, right? And respiration and heartbeat is also controlled by diencephalon. So please note down diencephalon. It is thermostat. It control body temperature. That's why this is called thermostat. Done? Okay, great. So every part about the forebrain clear? Martin, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, basically they are the factual part, right? Midbrain. So midbrain is again divided to two parts: corpora quadrigemina and corpora cerebri, right? Corpora quad. So basically, try to understand. Midbrain is do not have too much functions. This is basically data cable which connect hindbrain means backside brain with a forebrain means frontal brain, front part of the brain. So this work like a data cable, right? Data transfer work. So corpora quadrigemina, sense of sight and hearing, it is responsible for these two things: sense of sight and hearing, right? And corpora cerebri, impulses. So it send impulses means I said you it work as a connecting cable, so between the cerebellum, pons and medulla, right? So it send impulses between these or send communication between the cerebellum, pons and medulla part, right? So this is the function of midbrain. Please write down. Then we will study about the hindbrain. So main function of our brain is controlled by the frontal part, front brain, and hindbrain. Midbrain is the smallest one and it do not have too much functions. Then come to the hindbrain. So hindbrain again, it have three part: cerebellum, the part which look like a flower, and pons varolai and medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata that connect with the backbone. So cerebellum, that is called little brain. Cerebellum, it means little brain, right? Uh, Alcohol impair the function of cerebellum. So that's why a person who have taken this alcohol, his or her balance get disturbed, right? He or she can't drive well and all that, right? So that impair the function of. So what is the function of cerebellum? This is the second largest part of the human brain. It's responsible for rapid muscular activity like playing guitar, playing piano, and all the typing, right? So responsible for rapid muscular activity. It maintains the body balance. Then pons varolai. So pons varolai, this is also called medulla, right? So pons varolai, superior part of the brain, right? Uh, it is responsible for respiratory center. Then come to the medulla oblongata. It connect with the spinal cord. It connect cerebellum with the spinal cord. Regulate the heartbeat, blood pressure, breathing, swallowing, salivation, uh, uh, sensing of vomiting and coughing. Right. So these activities are responsible for this part is responsible for these activities. Please note down quickly the part of the high brain and its function. Martin, is it done?
Yes, sir.
Great. So hope you must have understood the part of the brain and their function. Now the second thing, which is reflex action. It is there in your NCRT. I am following your NCRT sequence, and there is a transmission of nerve impulse. Yes, sorry. Then the term is transmission of nerve impulse. First, we'll study the transmission of nerve impulse. So, how does the transmission of nerve impulse takes place? Right. Look, try to understand. So basically, I have made my own notes on for this one to make you understood and to make it easier, right? How does the transmission of nerve impulse takes place? So basically, the transmission of nerve impulse, it means that we have the fine wires in our body. So basically, these wires are neurons. So how does the current or information or stimulus run in our nerves? So basically, our nerves are not, or our body is not meant for running off or the flow of electrons, right? So normally the current flow everywhere in every part and every communication part in the form of everywhere in the form of electron flow. But basically, our body is resistant for the electron flow, so it do not take place in the form of electron flow. So how does it take place? So basically, the stimulus run in our body in the form of sodium and potassium ion. The stimulus comes, they come at dendrite, they run in our neuron in the form of sodium and potassium ion, and that's how the carry forward takes place. So basically, there is a theory, the theory which explain this function and this how does the electron, sorry, how does the sodium and potassium run, or how does the stimulus run in our neurons. So this is called this theory was given by Hodgkins and Huxley. This is called ionic theory of nerve impulse, right? So let me explain you what is a membrane ionic theory of nerve impulse. So it was given by Hodgkin and Huxley in late 1930s, right? This theory states that a electrical event in the nerve fiber are governed by differential permeability of its membrane to sodium and potassium ion, and these permeability are regulated by the electric field across the membrane. So what is the differential permeability? Differential permeability means there is a different behavior of our membrane for the uh, sodium and potassium. So basically, we have in our membrane, we have already understood uniport, symport, and antiport. I have told you when I was telling you transport of the ions on. Look, so we had antiport. These antiport, what they do, normally they pump in 3 sodium ion at one side and pump out 2 potassium ion outside, right? So 3 sodium ion in return to 2 potassium ion. So that is differential permeability. There is a difference in the permeability of sodium and potassium ion, right? I think hope it must be clear to you. There are two main phases: resting membrane potential of nerve. Resting membrane potential of nerve, when neurons are in rest condition, means there is no current, no impulse, right? And action membrane potential of nerve. Suppose that someone touched me, or I touched any hot object. When I will touch hot object, my neuron will become activated. I will call that state action membrane potential of the nerve impulse. Means impulses are running inside. So first phase is resting potential. When neurons are not working, they are at inactive state. It is also called polarized state. So when neurons are not working or they are at polarized state, what will happen? On that state, so suppose that this is a membrane of neuron, right? At normal stage or resting stage. This at this membrane, what will happen? Uh, these antiport, what they will do, they will pump out 3 sodium ion outside and they will take 2 potassium ion inside. So the inside the membrane, what is that? This is the neuroplasm, right? And outside there is exoplasm. So what will happen? When sodium ion, means positive charge, is more at the outer surface but less positive charge at inner surface. So what will happen? At outside of the membrane there will be positive charge due to high sodium ion, but inside the membrane, means in neuroplasm, there will be negative charge. This is called polarized or membrane or resting potential stage. What will happen when any stimulus will come? So the membrane will become depolarization, means the movement will become opposite, right? When threshold stimulus is appeared, what will happen? Rapid influx of sodium ion start. Now the sodium ion will start going inside, right? And potassium ion are outside. So what will happen at a side of the membrane? Inner there will be positive charge, outer side there will be negative charge, right? Now, what will happen? This positive charge will start moving from A side to B side. Why? Because still at the B side, there is a negative charge, right? So, information will start flowing from A side to B side, right? Polarity will get reversed. Rapid influx of sodium ion will start. Polarity will get reversed. It is called action potential of nerve impulse, right? At site E, right? Then what will happen? Current will start flowing from A side to B side in inner surface. On outer surface, the current will start from B to what will happen? B to A side. Again, when a positive charge will come at the reach at the B side, what will happen? Now again, this positive charge will move from B to C side, right? And again, at the outer surface, the charge will move from C to B side. That's how the current is carried forward from A side to B side to C side, and that's how the flow of the current takes place in this membrane or in these neurons. This theory is called uh, ionic theory of nerve impulse. Is that clear or not? Tell me, both of you, Martin and Shadika. And you have to make diagram. If they will ask you this question, this is very important. If they will ask you question, very good. What about you, Martin? If they will ask you question, that will be 4 Parker, five Parker question. But it's very important. They can ask you this question. Martin, tell me, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. So should I share this notes to you? Uh, uh, Let me share to you, right, on chat box, right? And what you have to do, uh, so I have shared it you. Please download it, right? And if you want to take print out, but better I would say that you need to note it down at your notebook. I have shared it. You, Martin and Shidika, when you download it, please let me know. Great, great. Martin, got it? Martin, download it or doing it?
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. Transmission of impulse between two neurons. How does the impulse transmission take place between two neurons? This is very important. Notes are also already there, and they are well structured notes. So you need not to note down. I'll send you again. I will share you after explaining it. Look, I have already told you that the junction between two neurons are known called synapse, right? Or we sometimes we call them naps. But basically, we pronounce it synapse, right? So this is one neuron. This is another neuron. So we have two kind of synapse: electrical synapse and chemical synapse. Electrical synapses are very rare. They are basically found in our brain, are those part where flow of information need to be very quick, right? So how does it take place? In electrical neurons or electrical synapse, what is that? This is pre-synaptic node, means this is the part of first neuron, right? This is post-synaptic neuron, means the part of second neuron, right? The gap between them are, the point is called gap junction, right? This we call gap junction. In gap junction, there are certain pipe-like, small pipe-like collections. They are made up of tubulin protein. Gap junctions, they are small protein tubular structure that allow free movement of ions between neurons. They are meant for faster transmission. They are basically found in our brain. So basically, they are found in where those part where uh, masses need to be transferred very fast, right? So there is no problem between two neurons. There are protein part through which sodium ion can be transferred easily. But most of the body neuron, they have the chemical synapse. So this is again presynaptic neuron and this is postsynaptic neuron. The gap between them is called synaptic cleft. Remember, the gap junctions are found in the electrical synapse and synaptic clefts are found in the chemical synapse. Here, they are not physically connected with each other. Now, how does the transmission of nerve impulse takes place in chemical synapse, right? Let me explain you. Everything I have explained with the help of numbering. This is one number, this is second number. So event are even numbered over here in this note, right? The same thing I did over here to try to understand what will happen. First incidence, the impulse will reach over here in the first neuron part, right? Last part of first neuron. Now, what will happen when impulse will reach over here? They will start absorbing calcium and second point. They will start absorbing calcium and from, so between these two neurons, there is a part which is called what is synaptic cleft, and there is a ECF, extracellular fluid, right? So they will start absorbing calcium ion. Due to absorbing of calcium ions, these vesicles start moving to the downward and will bust, right? These vesicles are filled with a neurotransmitter acetylcholine. This vesicle will move down. Third point, look, first point, impulse will come. Second point, calcium ion will be absorbed. Third point, vesicle will move and burst. Fourth point, they will release the neurotransmitter in synaptic cleft. Fifth point, they are in the post synaptic membrane, means the second neuron, at the surface of second neuron, there are some receptor which are made up of protein. These receptor will get the what? These receptor will get the neurotransmitter. They will open the channel. Due to opening of channel, the sodium ion will start coming inside in the second neuron, and that's how the masses is transferred, and that's how the impulse will be carried forward. First point, nerve impulse will arrive at the presynaptic knob. Second, calcium ion enters from the cleft to the knob. Third, synaptic vesicle move downward and get rupture due to exocytosis. Neurotransmitter, fourth point, neurotransmitter discharge in between the cleft. Fifth point, transmitter bind with the protein receptor. Fourth point, sodium ion are allowed to enter. And seventh point, depolarization or action potential will start in second membrane. Is that clear? Tell me. Is it clear or not? Both of you, Shidika and Martin. If you have any doubt, ask me. Martin, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So let me share with you this this notes as well. Pulse transmission. Download it and let me know. They can ask you what is the chemical synapse, right? Then you have to make this diagram. You have to make this diagram as it is. You know, the notes are given everywhere, even in your NCERT, in the very vague manner. That's why I have made my own handwritten notes. Clear? Very good. Martin, got it and downloaded?
Yes, sir.
Very good. The next part is very easy reflex section. They can ask you 2 marker question from here, right? But they can ask you, look, what are the reflex section? So basically, there are two kind of the reflexes. One reflexes which sometimes reaches to our brain, and second reflexes. Normally, reflexes do not reaches to our brain. Why? I touched any hot object, just I pulled the hand. This was the reflex. Here, the message did not reach to our brain. That's why you must have felt that whenever we touch any hot object, first we pull the hand, then after few seconds we feel the pain of burning. Right? Why? First we pull the hand. This message did not reach to the brain. Then after some time, this message when reaches to the brain, then we feel the pain. Right? So, how does the reflex actions are controlled? Suppose that I have touched any hot object. What will happen? The receptor present in heat is in skin. They are receptor of heat or pain. They will sense the temperature. The message will be taken from hand to the message will be taken from hand to our backbone with the help of sensory neuron or afferent neuron. In the last class itself, we have discussed. We have already discussed. Fine, Siddhika. Yes. So look, uh, the receptor which are present in our hand or skin, they will take the information. Information from our hand to our backbone is taken through the sensory neuron or afferent neuron. We had already discussed in the last class what are the sensory and afferent. Then this message will be received by a small part of neuron called a relay neuron. It do not goes to the brain. Normally it should go to the brain, but normally it do not goes to the brain. Why? If it will reach to the brain and order will come from the brain, there it will take too much time. Until the time the damage will take place, right? So to make this process fast, normally this message reaches to the backbone. In backbone itself, there is a relay which take the decision and which give command to the muscles of hand to pull it back. Now from relay, the masses will be order will be given to the motor neuron through the motor neuron or efferent neuron. The muscles or effector muscles, they will get the masses and they will pull back the hand. So that's how the decisions are taken, and these kind of the actions are called reflex action. So normally there are two kind of the reflex action. Spinal reflex actions, they are controlled by backbone, and cerebral reflex action, they are controlled by brain, right? So spinal reflex section, this is an example of a spinal reflex section where the message do not reaches to the our brain, right? The information goes to the backbone and decision is taken from the backbone itself, right? And this pathway is called reflex arc. Is that clear or not? Tell me, both of you. And this diagram you have to make after the class. Leave this space, put the heading reflex section and reflex arc, and you have to make this diagram as it is. You have to copy paste as it is, right? And then I'll dictate what is the reflex section. Tell me, Martin, Shidika, is that clear? Or if you have any doubt, you can ask. Very good. So please start writing now. Reflex action, reflex action is a spontaneous automatic reflex action is spontaneous spontaneous, automatic, mechanical response, spontaneous, automatic, mechanical response to stimulus without the will of animal. Full stop. If reflex action, if reflex action is controlled by the spinal cord called no issue, Shidika, if you get disconnected. Uh, Fine. So, yes, Martin. It is called spinal reflex action. And if it is controlled by, and if it is controlled by brain, it is known as cerebral reflex action. It is known as cerebral reflex action. Full stop. Next point. The sensory nerve, the sensory nerve bring sensory impulses. The sensory nerve bring sensory impulses from from receptor organ to central nerve system. Full stop. The motor nerve relay motor impulses from central nervous system to effector organ. Full stop. Thus, an impulse travels a path during reflex action, which is called reflex arc. Now write down some example of reflex action. So closing eyes, right? Closing eyes at flash of light, that is a reflex. Closing eyes at flash of light, that is reflex action. Watering of mouth, watering of mouth, seeing favorite food, seeing favorite food, food, sorry, food and opening of mouth, hearing loud sound. Loud sound. Right. So these are examples. Is that clear, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Uh, Now tell me, do you have a human eye and human ear in your syllabus or not? Two
Oh,
organs.
sir, from 100 and oh, wait, this is the human eye chapter. Oh, I don't know, sir.
Sorry, human eye is there in
Human eye chapter, right? Oh, I'm not sure, sir.
human eye is there.
No, I don't know, sir.
You don't know.
I know
And
that
what about human ear?
here, I don't know, I didn't learn it in my school.
So did they cover it in your school or not?
Well, wait, this is one separate chapter, right?
Okay, this is separate chapter. Fine. Means the
Oh, no,
chapters.
no, is it one? Is it one?
No, 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 no. This is a part of this chapter.
Oh,
This is the part of this
oh,
chapter. Yeah, it's a topic. Means
I know that like after 119, like for me, like till 119 is the portion. After 119, like it's deleted.
deleted. Actually, the page number is different in my book. This is 322. So, can you turn your textbook and check that? If it is omitted, then it's useless to discuss. Because in some of the school they have a human eye, but they have omitted the
Second
human ear.
chapter number,
This is the name of the chapter is neural control and coordination.
the number.
Chapter number. This is the second last chapter in my NCRT book. I mean, it should be the chapter number should be 21.
Yeah, sir. Human eye and ear is deleted.
Okay. So no issue. So if it is deleted, then yeah, human ear in most of the syllabus, human ear is deleted. It's a part of
Yeah,
need. Yes. Basically, this is the part of need. And
yeah.
in
I
your
only
question
have
comes.
till
Yeah. So this chapter we have completed this chapter. And go through with your complete this
yes,
chapter. This chapter, right? Go through with your book, right? For this chapter, and then let me know. Then we'll start with the next chapter. Done, Martin?
Yes, sir.
Everything clear? So look, our next chapter means last chapter uh, is that is the human endocrine
Yeah,
gland.
done, sir. Oh,
Done?
yes, sir. Chemical coordination.
Chemical coordination? Yeah. Last chapter,
Right.
right? So today, just to start with the like normally just introduction part, right? Next class we'll study the function of right every gland. So look, human endocrine system. So it is divided into two parts, right? Exocrine gland and endocrine gland. So two type of gland are found in our body: exocrine and endocrine gland. So exocrine gland, what are basically they are the gland they secrete the enzyme, right? So they release the enzyme, and they are called gland with duct. So basically what happened, they have tube. Duct means tube. They have tube, right? They release their enzyme to particular target organ with the help of a duct. For example, this is the liver. Liver have a pipeline that is called bile duct, means bile releasing pipeline. So directly this pipeline releases its secretion or its enzyme to small intestine. So that is function, they help in the digestion, right? So that is called bile duct. So these kind of the gland which have duct gland, right? And they release the organ, they release their secretion through the help of duct. They are called exocrine gland. Endocrine gland, they do not have any kind of the duct. That's why they are called ductless gland, right? Basically, they secrete hormone. They secrete their product directly into the bloodstream. When these hormone or these secretion they reaches to the target organ, suppose that insulin is released by the pancreas, but it is meant for controlling the sugar at, or it have to work at the liver, right? Then it will work at the liver. So they reaches through blood to a target organ and they function over here, right? That is difference between exocrine and endocrine gland. Again, endocrine gland, which we are going to study today, this chapter chemical coordination is all include the endocrine part, right? This chemical coordination normally known as the endocrine system. Look, again, the endocrine gland are of two types: holocrine gland and heterocrine gland. Holocrine glands are those glands they secrete only hormone. For example, pituitary gland is a holocrine gland. It have only single function, it secrete hormones only. Then there are next kind of the gland, they are called heterocrine gland. They secrete hormone. Along with that, they have other function as well. For example, pancreas is a holocrine gland. Pancreas, we know it secrete hormone insulin. Along with do it secrete the pancreatic juice, which is the enzyme, right? So it secretes enzyme, that is pancreatic juice. We have already studied pancreatic juice, right? But it secretes number of the hormone. For example, insulin, right? So the gland which have other function other than secretion of enzyme as well, they are called heterocrine gland, right? Ovary secrete hormone, right? Then it have also function, it release egg as well. So it have two type of the function. So that's why it is also called heterocrine gland. So these are the type of gland. Is that clear, Martin?
Yes, sir.
So please copy it as it is.
Yeah, done. Sir.
Done. Okay. Before going into that, these are the location and different kind of the glands. So before going into that, please write down the Martin. What is the definition of hormone? So put write down. Hormones are hormones are non-nutritional chemical. Hormones are non-nutritional chemical which act as intercellular messenger, which act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amount. Full stop. So this was the definition of a hormone. One more thing, please write down. They may be they may be amino acid derivative. They may be amino acid derivative, comma peptide, comma polysaccharide, sorry, polypeptides or steroid or steroid. So these are the chemical nature of the hormone. Look, these are the types of the gland. Here, what you need to understand that what is the location of particular gland, because you may get one marker question that what is the location, that like the thymus gland is found in the chest, found is found in the brain part, neck part, lower part of the neck. So that's how they ask. Look, this is hypothalamus gland, first gland we have already studied in the last chapter. This is pituitary gland. This is pineal gland, third pineal gland. The fourth gland is thyroid gland. It is present. Parathyroid glands are present along with the thyroid gland, right? Fifth, parathyroid gland. Sixth, thymus gland. It is present in the chest region. Then seventh one, adrenal gland. This is present at the top of the kidney. Then eighth, kidney. Kidney is itself a gland. Ninth, pancreas. Pancreas is heterocline gland. Then tenth, that is the testis. They are found in males only. And 11th and 12th, ovarian placenta, they are found in female only, right? So these are the location and these are the types of the gland which we will study in the form of endocrine system. If you want, you can take the screenshot, Martin.
Yes, sir.
So first gland is hypothalamus gland, and we'll start the next class onward because today